Hello and good morning. You find us at West Point, Army two-gun match. This is my third year doing this and my second time running a bolt action. I brought the Ruger American Gen 2 in 5.56 that my friend lent me to put it through its paces to see how it does in an environment like this. I already know all too well how the Gen 1 operates, which is perfectly fine, but I want to see if the minor differences that the Gen 2 has makes any sort of difference. Plus, it'll be fun to just run this in a match. First year I ran my Gen 1 Ruger. Second year I ran full kit AR, armor, the whole nine. This year I'm doing high speed, low drag, running this, and keep my setup as simple as possible. There's nothing I really have done to this other than put my bipod from my Gen 1 Ruger on it, a sling, and that's about it. So we have, I don't even know how many stages we have today. We have beautiful, crystal clear skies. It's going to be like the mid 50s. It should be an amazing day. And hopefully this rifle will perform fairly well. I have the size 6 zeroed with the M855 out to about 200-ish yards. And our farthest shot here is 300. So it should hopefully all just be center holds, if not maybe a headshot hold. So we will see how that all goes. But with that, enjoy the match.
Before we get started with the match, enjoy your tax dollars at work, everybody. This is a murder dog with an AT-4 rocket launcher on top. Granted, it's just an empty tube, but they were showing off all of their cool toys and features this day. Unfortunately, due to the fact that the Northeast was under an extreme dry spell when this match was going on, we could not run full automatic rifles. So instead of us shooting machine guns, they had these dogs walking around, and you could pilot them and play around with them and kick them and do basically anything except for actually shoot it and or take it home. So you'll be seeing these throughout the video. As in typical West Point fashion, I go ahead and I forget to put my second ear pro on. I'm wearing earplugs, but I always forget to put my headphones on, and I just don't know why. It happens almost every stage. I don't even know why I bother. We're in a big open field, and there's no way for noise to reverberate back into the point where it's deafening until we get to one stage, but that's at the very end. This is a pistol only stage. You have to hit a certain amount of targets from a certain amount of positions while taking cover, and I do a pretty good job. I'm shooting my CZ P10c in 9mm. I'm running full capacity magazines that I borrowed off of somebody, and honestly the pistol ran perfectly fine with the exception of the one time that it didn't, and it cost me some points, but more on that later. The first stage is very fast, simple, and easy. Start of the second stage, again, I forget to put my headphones on. I just don't know why. First couple targets up here are real easy, real fast. Move the dummy, set up a cat tourniquet, and then engage the steel targets downrange. The maximum range distance at this particular range is 300 yards, but unfortunately, all the targets were, I would say, within about 150 to 200 yards. With this rifle, with that scope setup, and the M855 that I'm shooting made light work, even with the very high winds that you can see are currently going on. Every time I take a shot, the smoke will usually push from right to left very hard. I make very quick work of this stage. The murder dogs were out in full swing, and they were just coming around to everyone and just, hey, do whatever you want with it. I give it a scratch in the chin because it's a good boy, and it is terrifying to see one of these things in action in person. With like a 30-pound payload that can move at like 6 miles an hour for hours, it's terrifying. I got the closest on the Trainer AT-4 shooting a 9mm tracer out at that 100-ish yard target. It was not zeroed by any means or stretch of the imagination, and the winds again pushed it very far off course. I saw people literally just have the splash hit 6 feet low, 6 feet high, 6 feet right. I at least got it sort of close, but definitely a very hard shot. I don't think anyone actually hit that this day. From the barricade, engage all those plates downrange, then crawl under the barbed wire, get in position, and engage the rest of the targets. Having a bipod on the front of a rifle like this makes real quick work of these targets, especially in a slightly less than stellar position. It's just another tool in your toolbox that can work for you or against you if you're not careful with it. For the VTEC barricade, I left my bipod deployed, so I had about an inch or so of the stock sticking through the hole, and I just pressed the bipod into the VTEC barricade to give me a little bit extra support. Even in these slightly awkward positions, the rifle gave me no issues whatsoever. The one thing I will say for the rifle that I don't particularly care is the stock angle grip, very similar to the Gen 1 that I have. A quick little modification with some 2-part epoxy would fix that though. I'm happy that there was a decent amount of rifle at this match, but nowhere near as much as it was the first year. I kind of wish we had to do multiple engagements of targets from different positions, meaning, oh, you have one target, engage that one twice from 2 different positions or something like that, just to get more reps in, because in 5 rounds, you could basically clear most of the rifle portions of these stages like I did just there. Lobbing a grenade in, I opted to roll it in like a bowling ball, and I did pretty good. On this pistol section, just run over into the start box. You gotta hold the ammo can in your weak hand while you are shooting and moving. You have to take it with you. Obviously, if you have to reload, you don't have to hold it. You have to put it down, but you have to reload and then pick up the ammo can again. A nice little way of challenging you both mentally and physically. It was filled with gravel, so it had some weight to it, but just don't forget to, have it with you at all times. It's a very simple and easy thing to do, but it tripped up a lot of people. More AT4 murder dogs. This one was the larger one. The previous one that we looked at that I scratched under its chin was the smaller one. They're terrifying. They cost, I think, upwards of like 250 to 300 grand, depending on options. They weigh like 30 or 40 pounds. They have a payload of like 20% their body weight, or it's nuts. And controlling it's so cool and easy. It's like, if you remember the Sega Game Gear, it's basically that as a controller. It's terrifying. One of the first stages with a stage gun is an AK-47, and you're supposed to engage one of the IPSC targets downrange with it. Believe it or not, I don't know what happened. I placed my finger on the trigger to go, and the gun went off. Everyone's like, how did you ND an AK-47? Those triggers are usually very hard and heavy. It happened. But they didn't DQ me. They just said, okay, the timer's now going. So I thanked them very much, and I continued doing what I had to do. Once you're done with that, dump the gun, go get your rifle, and engage the 5 poppers downrange, one from each different hole on the VTEC barricade, or whatever kind of barricade you want to call it. It's a barricade. Shoot through the holes. Again, very easy work. Pull out a knife, stab the dummy. I opted to use my own knife as opposed to the bayonet because I carry a knife in almost all of my kits, and why not use it? Then run over to the end box and engage the pistol targets. Really simple and easy. Almost a little bit too simple and easy. I don't have any footage from the stage, but it was a qualification course. It's 30 rounds total. On this stage, I had a malfunction. I don't know if I limp wristed the pistol or what had happened, but I had a double feed, a failure to eject and a double feed, and I had to strip the round out and load in the magazine, and I dropped a shot. The second stage gun was a sawed-off shotgun that you had to use to breach this door and then clear all the targets inside. Pistol-only stage with the exception of the shotgun, and I felt I did pretty good on this. My pistol work definitely needs to be improved. I really like shooting the P10c. I just put a TLR 7X on it, and I'm now carrying that gun exclusively in the colder months as opposed to my 365 XL, because I do shoot it a little bit more competently and a little bit more comfortably than the 365 XL, and the light is a nice addition to, again, have that extra tool in your toolbox. It doesn't add that much bulk nor weight, but it definitely helps with control muzzle flip, and the gun shoots really good as a result. However, I would probably not run this pistol as much in the next upcoming matches. I'm probably just going to stick with my M&P competitor because that's just a much more capable gun in this environment. Our last stage of the day features a full automatic MP5, but you had to shoot it in semi-auto because, again, wildfires for whatever reason. As far as the match breakdown and what I would like to see changed in the future, definitely more rifle shooting, definitely more challenging shooting, more positional shooting. The pistol work was pretty good. I enjoyed that. but I would really like to see just a little bit more of a challenge. I came in like the top quarter or so with a bolt gun, and honestly, even if I ran a semi-auto, I probably would have ran a little bit faster, but not by much. As far as my gear, my pistol ran fine with the exception of the one mouth, and the Ruger American Gen 2 Ranch ran flawlessly. I really like the modifications that they've done for the Gen 2, but I still think there's a lot of room for improvements, but some of those improvements I'm going to try to make my own and market them because I really do think that it's a tremendous rifle for the money. If you're in the area and you have the opportunity to sign up for this match, I think you'd really enjoy it. I do have some nitpicks on it, but it's so cool just to be able to shoot at West Point and be in New York, and no one cares what you do as long as you're being safe. And then you get to play with cool things like this murder dog, the terrifying, haunting murder dog. With all that being said, thank you all very much for watching, and as always, I'll see you again next time. And a huge thank you to my Patreon providers and my Subscribe Star subscribers. Without you, this truly wouldn't be possible. If you'd like to support my channel but don't want to join either of those, I completely understand. But you could still help by using my affiliate links in the description below, and or like, share, and subscribe as always. Again, thank you very much.